Welcome to this first of our count them, three 2025 preseason preview editions of Bruce Monnin's Computer Points. I, of course, am Bruce Monnin, your host. Also, we will have our co-host, executive producer, and chief researcher, Rebekah Monnin, right here.
Ooh, no new titles this year. That's
Not
good. It
yet. You
was
need to
starting
earn
to go
them.
to my head. Like I earned the rest of them, of course.
Here for the year 2025 for our multi-part preview, we have brought back for the third consecutive year Mr. Van Wright.
You know,
Van is a
Bruce,
and here he is.
it's an honor. I don't want to say too much because coming back for year three, I never thought I'd make it through year one. And I just want to thank you again for the invitation. But primarily, I want to thank Rebekah Monnin, your producer, executive producer. She's the rock that holds this thing together. So I'm honored to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
We are happy to have you, Van. I imagine The Rock is happy also, right, Rebekah?
Well, I can't speak for Dwayne Johnson, but I'm thrilled to have you, Van.
So, Van, you're supposed to be a retired man. Rumor has it that you work like even more than you used to. You just get paid a lot less.
That's certainly true. I'm still hard at work for Bowling Green, still getting around, but yeah, in a kind of a semi-retirement, kind of a semi-retired is what I call it, Bruce. But still active, still around kicking and getting into talking with young people and keeping track of high school football.
And what's it like working with a former Heisman Trophy winner up there at Bowling Green with Coach Eddie George?
Eddie George is a great leader for sure, but Bruce, what I could tell you is he's a hard worker and a guy with goals, very clear in his direction for the program, and I'm just thrilled to have him. Now he keeps you working. You better be ready to go because there's no slacking off, there's no slowing down. But he's proven to be a great coach in his first 4 years at Tennessee State. Now he takes a move up to Bowling Green. It's a different level, but I think he's going to do a great job over the coming few years, and got a great staff assembled up there. So I'm honored to work with him and doing a few things with Eddie. He's just a great guy. I mean, first of all, he's a great person, and by the way, it looks like he'd still play. Bruce, if he was literally on this call right now, and you took a look at him, you would say, line up now. Line up now. I mean, he's unbelievable, in tremendous shape.
And I imagine, although I don't know for sure, but I imagine there'll be a few players from teams we will be discussing on these episodes who just may be playing for Coach George in the near future up at Bowling Green.
And down the road, I would say so. We can't talk too much about those individuals, but absolutely, Northwest Ohio is a key part of Bowling Green's recruitment for anything, whether it be admissions or football.
All right. Well, we are once again following a total of 89 teams this season in West Central Ohio. Once again, if you just pop over to my website, Bruce Monnin's Computer Points, there's a link for our projections for this year. We do that using the results of the last four seasons as a guideline, and I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I'm just going to tell you we have made some mathematical projections that just to get you an idea. If a team's been good for the last 4 years, they're probably still good this year. If they've been poor the last 4 years, they're probably not going to rise all the way to the top in 1 year. But you never know. But this will give us an idea of maybe who some of the favorites might be, who the borderline teams are, and who the teams that have a lot of work to do are going to be. And again, purely mathematical. A poor team like our Minster Wildcats, who graduated 18 seniors, maybe the mathematics won't work out as much as a team who had 18 juniors starting last year.
Mm-hmm.
So don't take these to heart too much. This is just to give you a rough idea and to lead us into our talk on how all these regions work for this year. So we will divide this up into three categories. We will call them likely playoff teams. Those are ones that I think we're going to get as much as double what might be necessary to make the playoffs. We have unlikely playoff teams, those who are predicted to earn half the computer points of what will be needed. And then, of course, where most teams fall in, the possible playoff teams somewhere in the middle. And this year, of course, if you don't know, last year we had 16 teams per every region make the playoffs. This year it's only 12 per region, so it's going to be just a tad tougher to make the playoffs this year. It might be just a little more, how would you say, Rebecca? Maybe a little more tense when we get to that week 8 and week 9 podcast.
The stakes will be high and we will be invested in those results.
That is for sure.
Bruce, every game counts just as much as week 7 and 8. You'll be looking at it closer, but I see some early season matchups, and I know you've identified a couple that if they go a certain way are going to go a long way to getting into that top 12 for a certain team.
Oh, absolutely. And we won't get to this to the third episode, but I have a week 3 game that I think is going to be very critical, but we will get to that in our third preview episode. For this first one, we are going to focus just on divisions 1 through 4, so the larger schools here in West Central Ohio. And Rebecca, I think we'll do the usual format. We shall start with the Division 1 and work our way downward.
That sounds like a great strategy. Although that one time we tried talking teams by rolling a dice and going to them, that was exciting.
Yes,
hard to follow, but exciting.
I still have that bingo ball pulling machine available in case we come back to that sometime.
Oh, man.
We'll keep it on the short list.
All right. We shall start with Division 1, Region 2. This year, Division 1 has 18 teams in each of their regions. So last year, that meant 2 of the 18 teams did not make the playoffs. This year, it means 6 of the teams will not make the playoffs. You're going to have to win a few to make the playoffs in Division 1 this year. Last year, you basically needed to win about 1 game. We follow, so I said we're starting in Region 2. My early projection is it will take 5 to 6 wins to qualify for the playoffs in this region. We are following 2 teams. We have them both down as possible playoff teams. First is Troy. I am really not going to bore you with this one, but I have another mathematical model that tries to predict how many wins they will get. It came up with a 6-4 record for Troy, which would get them about the number 5 seed in this region. And we come up with a 5-5 record for Findlay, which would have them finish 10th in this region, much closer to the cut line. Taking a look at the whole region, and by the way, if you are watching this on YouTube, there will be a list of every team in the region with their projected record and projected computer points. You can follow along that way if you don't go to the website. But in this region, Centerville and Springfield, the current fan favorites in this region when I look at the appropriate topics on yappy.net. We mentioned before, it used to be 16 teams made the playoffs. I would have said this region would have required about 3 wins under the old system, 5 to 6 wins this year. So, Van, anything about Troy or Findlay that stands out in your mind?
Before I begin, Rebecca asked me to review my predictions from the last year. When I would make a comment about a team, she said, were you correct? Were you wrong? Where were you? And she asked me to review everything I said last year. So I went back and looked at those individual comments, and I was correct 80.1%. 80.1. She's pretty precise. So 80.1. 2 out of 10 times I was wrong, 80% correct. So that's not bad for a guy in my position. In Division 1, we follow 2 teams. Both these teams will make the playoffs. They will be in the top 12. Troy is going to be better than people think. I'll tell you right now, they're expected to challenge in their league. They're going to be better. They're going to be better. Findlay will do just enough. Just enough. And that's my response to Division 1, Region 2.
I gotta say, Findlay last year went just 4-6 and suffered the unfortunate fate of playing Lakewood St. Edward in the first round of the playoffs.
Correct.
Hopefully that'll provide them some incentive this year to do a little better, and that the beatdown doesn't take their spirit away. Hopefully I don't think that happens that much of high school kids. I think they're anxious to get back and improve. So I would agree with you. I have Troy is looking fairly solid. Just for fun, the way things are going here in the world, I went to something called Grok, which is the AI of Twitter, X, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And just for fun, I typed in What will the Troy High School football team's record be this year? And Grok predicts Troy will win between 5 to 7 games. So Grok must be using a similar mathematical model to what I am, since I predicted they would win 6.
Bruce, Grok is a great tool for you, but let me point out that I used AI and said what jobs are going to be there after AI takes over. And one of the key jobs still remaining is high school prognostication. So you will still be employed and I will still be employed. So Grok is fine, but it doesn't give you the human element that you provide, and most especially that Rebekah Monin provides. Rebekah, with her deep knowledge of athletics from one end of the state to the next. I mean, so respect Grok. I'm relying on Bruce and Rebekah.
I don't disagree, but I do feel like I'm being slandered somehow. In a positive way, it's a very confusing experience I'm having.
But what I draw from this, Rebekah, is even if AI comes and takes over the world, we will still make as much money off this in the future as we do now.
Correct.
You're not wrong.
Correct.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Okay.
And with that, we will move on to Division 2, I believe. In Division 2, we cover teams that play in the Southwest region, Region 8. There are 23 teams here. And, even with that many more teams, I still only project needing 5 wins to make the playoffs in this region. So that sounds about right. 12 out of 23, that's about half the teams make the playoffs. So about 5 wins sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have 3 teams we follow. I have them all in the possible playoff teams category. We'll start with Lima Senior, who I have projected to finish 9th with a 6-4 record. Sydney, who I have projected to finish 12th with a 5-5 record. And Piqua, projected 18th with a 3-7 record, although there's something in my head that tells me it's just hard. With their glorious history, I just don't picture Piqua with a 3-7 record. It just feels wrong to me.
Bruce, Piqua is on a little bit of a downturn, but if there is one team in Division 2 in our area that can overachieve, it is Piqua. They have good coaching there. I think their younger players could make a difference. I'm not saying for sure they're going to win 5 and get in there or 6, but I think they're going to be better. They're going to be better. Lima Senior, as you point out in your analysis at various times of the last couple of years, does not play a strong schedule, but they have skill. They have skill, and they're going to win games. They're not going to get a lot of points. They don't play a good schedule, but they're going to win games. They're going to be in the playoffs. The team I'm concerned about in this list is Sydney. I respect them. I love the Yellow Jackets. Everybody knows how much I love them. But I'm hearing their play in the trenches this year is maybe a step down for them. And that's critical in that league, Bruce.
Yeah, what I know about Sydney is they have a coaching change this year, which sometimes can be a bad thing for a first year. But I also know that it is a man named Kyle Coleman, who was an assistant coach at Minster last year. Mm-hmm. And I have great faith in his ability. So we'll see how long it takes him to get things going there. But I think Sydney's going to be a better program, whether they make it this year or not. Hard to say, but I will be rooting for them on account of Coach Coleman.
There's no doubt that they'll turn with Coach Coleman. There's no question about it. But this season, looking at this season, I'm a little concerned.
And back to your point on Lima Senior, Van, I project them at a 6-4 record. That's based on the computer points I think they will get. But you are right. Their schedule does not lead to a lot of computer points per win. That's probably really more like a 7-3 or 8-2 mark to get that number of computer points, which I really believe they will get, seeing their schedule. So
I agree.
Oh, by the way, just for teams to watch at the top of this region, the fan favorites, Cincinnati Anderson and Cincinnati LaSalle. So Not unusual for a Cincinnati team to be one of the favorites in this region, I would say.
I like LaSalle. I hear a lot about those guys down there. I don't know a lot about Anderson, but LaSalle, for whatever reason, I've been hearing a lot about them.
I remember when they were a state champion a few years ago when former Minster coach Nate Moore moved down to LaSalle. It took him 2-3 years to get a state championship there before he moved on to Massillon and repeated that feat up at Massillon. I feel Gypsy never won us one here at Minster, Rebekah.
Yeah, it's always a little bit upsetting to see people do better without you, but you had a good time.
When he was coach, we did get a glorious playoff win over Marion Local one year, though.
That was almost as good as a state title, if not better in some ways.
No doubt. I'm calling that better. I'm calling that better.
Was that the last time they lost, Marion Local?
No, it is not.
Dang.
I think I saw the last time they had more than one loss in a season was 2019, though. All right. But of course, Marion Local is a topic for
podcast
our third
number 3.
preview podcast. Yes. It's funny how they just keep popping up in the middle. Moving on to Division 3 then. We'll start with Region 10, the northwest corner of the state region. We had 3 WBL teams move from the south to the north this year. They just moved the line a little bit, and all those WBL teams switch regions. So now they have different teams to contend with come playoff time. We actually follow 5 teams here. All 5 of them are in the WBL, actually. We'll start with our likely playoff team. I have Wapakoneta projected number 2 with a 9-1 record.
You know,
Bruce, that ice.
Bruce, that team there it's a hometown team for me. They have so much skill on the offensive side. They've got a Division I wide receiver, a great player in Caden Page. They have the number 1 available quarterback in the state, college-wise, in Caleb Moyer, who incredibly did not throw an interception last year while tossing it all over the yard. He's mobile, he's smart, and they have a lot of other weapons, and they have one of the best coaches, not the best, there's a lot of great ones, but one of the best in the state in Travis Moyer. But their defense, they lost a lot of players in the front 7. So they're remaking the entire front 7 on defense. That is their challenge, but they're going to win a lot of games because they're Wapak and they're coached at a high level.
I can say my research of general high school football internet trolls basically agreed with you. Said great offense, but the season will depend on how well the defense plays.
Yep. Yeah.
And it does. And if that offense, it might not have to play that well, but it has to do enough, right?
It has to do enough, and you know, I'd feel a little better if it was maybe the back end where I think you can make some adjustments. But when your front 7 is a lot of graduates, that's a challenge.
And there just may be a WBL team or two that knows how to run the ball against a front 7 that may not be quite top notch, huh?
Yes, there are some of those.
Next, we have 3 possible playoff teams. I have St. Mary's projected at number 7, Defiance at number 8, and Salina at number 9, all with 7-3 records. How's that for a tussle there in the upper half of the WBL?
So tough there. September 19th, St. Mary's at Wapakoneta. Wapakoneta's homecoming game, September 19th. That will be a titanic struggle. St. Mary's is a little bit tired, I'm hearing over there when I'm over there at the cafes. I won't say bars or taverns, but the cafes. And they're a little bit tired right now. This is a little bit like Bowling Green and Toledo. Toledo's a little bit tired of us beating them. That's kind of where that's kind of where Wapakoneta versus St. Mary's is. So I look for the Rough Riders to pull everything out on that game. Wapakoneta will have to be ready. Now they're at home, so that's going to be beneficial. And the other teams, I really like Salina. I like Defiance too, but I like Salina. I think Salina, I realize they lost some great players, but I think they've got a chance to really do well this year.
I have I have a hard time arguing with that. St. Mary's 8-2 last year, won 2 playoff games before they lost to the Region 12 champ. Yeah, I would think they're going to be in the running to. You still only have to be in the top 8, by the way, to host a first round playoff game. The way this is going to work is the top 4 actually get a first week bye.
Yep.
And then we'll get to host the second round playoff game. Teams 5 through 8 get a home game in week 1. Yep. And then we'll go on the road for week 2. So I think St. Mary's looking very good to be one of those week 1 hosting teams. They might need to beat Wapakoneta if they want to be one of those bye teams.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, but they're going to be strong. Very good team, and they're hungry this year for sure. That's what I'm hearing over there.
You mentioned Defiance, also a little bit iffy on them. A coaching change at Defiance.
Yep.
New coach this year, Steve Rittner. I'm not familiar with Steve, but again, you never know what's going to happen with a coaching change. Quite often it's a game or two negative, but you don't know. Sometimes it goes the other way. Salina, they just feel like a team that's been so close the last couple of years, or on the precipice. They could really become a power here. Our last team, Lima Shawnee, I have them predicted at number 26 with a 2-8 record. When you're number 26 and only 12 teams make the playoffs, that puts you in our unlikely playoff teams category. Not a lot of winning at Lima Shawnee the last couple of years.
Rebekah Monin takes a look at things like this and says, Shawnee, do they have something to play for? I mean, Rebekah sometimes bemoans their situation. And no, they don't. They don't have anything to play for because they're going to lose a lot of games.
Rebekah, how can you say such a thing?
I can be so cruel sometimes.
She is. Well, she's honest. She's honest, and I appreciate that.
No sugarcoating.
No, and she's correct. Lima Shawnee is going to struggle. Their basketball team is going to be super, and that's their sport. Let's be honest. Their soccer team will be very competitive, but football is just very down there and has been.
Oh, by the way, this whole region I projected to take 5 to 6 wins here to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And if you do make the playoffs, eventually you're probably going to run into Toledo Central Catholic as the dominant favorite for this region, as they have been in their region for many years now.
Central Catholic is absolutely loaded with Division I players. Loaded. Whoever plays them, it's the equivalent of playing maybe a University of Findlay. It's like you're playing a Division II. I mean, these guys have more D1 players than everybody else. If we took the other 26 teams, they have probably more Division I players on that roster. They're just going to be very, very tough to beat up there. Coach Dempsey, very good.
Well, we'll have that to look forward to when some of our playoff predictions episodes there, Rebekah.
Absolutely.
Rebekah's
have to remember to bring it back up.
Yeah, Rebekah's furiously writing down notes so that she has something to go on when that time comes.
I'm really hoping to actually refer back to my notes this year instead of just say I'm going to.
Well, she's not paid big money for nothing, Bruce. When you're the executive producer, she has, I think, 5 or 6 titles, I think. And she's just a professional. I mean, just a true professional. Nothing gets by her. All details are handled. By the time you get to your projections of playoffs, she'll have it all laid out there, stem to stern.
Well, we'll be a special kind of hell for me.
Well, I already have planned to, when we get to our second podcast previewing the season, we'll get into a little bit of some of the work Rebekah's been doing to prepare for this coming season for the podcast. So,
absolutely.
Something to look forward to for the next podcast.
Good.
We're going to finish off Division III with the Southwest region, Region 12. There are 26 teams in this region. I'm projecting going to need 6 wins to get into playoffs here. The internet basically considers 4 teams to be the favorites to win in this region. 3 of them would be Hamilton-Baden, Archbishop McNicholas, and London, all of whom had very good years last year. The other team is our very own Tip City Tippecanoe Red Devils. We have them projected to sweep the regular season and start the playoffs with the number 1 seed and a 10-0 record. We shall see if that comes true or not, but I definitely think it would take a disaster to keep them out of the playoffs this year.
They're the ironclad lock of podcast one. They're the ironclad. If you're in Vegas right now, I don't think you can bet on Ohio high school who makes the playoffs. But if you
Let's certainly hope not.
No,
You might be able to.
if you could do it, the number one lock is the Tip City Tippecanoe Red Devils. They lost a little skill. They did lose a little skill off last year's team, skill players, but they have a lot back, and they are so well coached. They're like a machine down there. They are winning and winning big.
Our possible playoff team in this region, Bell Fountain, we have projected to go 8-2, finish number 5. They've been consistently good the last couple of years. A big first-round upset loss to 5-5 Chaminade Julienne last year has to be disappointing for them.
Coach Jason Brown right now is reminding his team of what it's going to take to meet their goals, because I know they didn't meet all of them with that loss. That was a terrible loss. Tavian St. Clair now with the Ohio State Buckeyes. His younger brother now the quarterback at Bell Fountain. And
I did not know that.
A little brother will likely be under center. So I think that Coach Brown will have this team ready to go. We list them as possible playoff team. You're correct, but I think they're going to be jumping right in there and having a good year at Bell Fountain, the Chieftains.
Do you know what grade the younger St. Clair brother is?
I think he might be a sophomore, Bruce. I'd have to
go
back and take a look. Little brother.
All right. And we have one last team in the region. We have Greenville. Greenville's not won a game in the last 2 seasons. Their average score last year was a 43-7 loss. Makes it tough to project anything other than the Green Wave being an unlikely playoff team this coming year. However, another new coach, Steve Chanel, or Channel. I don't know how to pronounce that.
He's a channel surfer. His nickname is Surfer Channel. He has a lot of work cut out for him. I mean, their crowds, and I love Greenville. No, I love the Green Wave, but their crowds are F&F, family and friends only. They can't draw. They just can't score, Bruce. They don't score any points. If you don't score, you can't win. I mean, it's a game. You have to get on the scoreboard. They struggle to get in the end zone, and I hope they do better. I think with Coach Channel, they're going to improve, but they got to get their best athletes out there for football. I wish them the best.
When the ball never reaches the end zone, it also tends to drive down ticket sales a little bit.
Just a little bit.
That's a problem. I mean, made right sandwiches are only going to draw so many people in there. I mean, I like a good made right when I go into Greenville to watch the Wave. I'm obviously there. I love to watch them, but they just have been on a downward spiral. I hope Coach Channel can turn that around.
I think somehow we could steal something from soccer in the fact that they don't score very much, and yet those crowds are devoted.
You're an out-of-the-box thinker.
One or two things.
You're an out-of-the-box thinker, Rebekah, and that is exactly why you're the executive producer of this podcast, because a lot of people would never put those two things together. And that is the fan bases, the way they cheer for those soccer teams, despite the 0-0, the penalty kicks, the 1-0. And you are 100% right. How do we bring that back to Greenville? You're 100% right. I mean, that's why you're in the role you're in.
I mean, the only thing I can come up with at the moment is chanting some less than appropriate high school chants. So maybe that's not it. But they sure do have those.
Drinking some less than appropriate high school beverages.
Yeah.
And maybe doing that colored smoke stuff to soccer fans.
Oh, maybe the colored smoke stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when I was watching the Tour de France, I could never figure out what the point was of setting off a thing of colored smoke that would blow over the riders so you couldn't see them. But that's just me. The Europeans seem to think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think the Tour de France put out a statement against the colored smoke.
Don't do it.
Really? Oh.
I saw something on the Facebook page.
Cool.
Which is, of course, as accurate as it could be.
Maybe when each player is introduced on the green wave, they can come out with a junior player. You know how they do that in soccer, Rebekah?
Oh,
They have
yeah.
introductions. They have the youngster come out. They could do this pregame and try to get more players, younger players involved. I mean, like you say, break the mold. Try something new. I'm with you.
I think that's actually not a bad idea at any school, really.
Hmm.
When the quarterback comes out, bring out the junior high quarterback with him on the field
Yep,
or something.
absolutely.
Yeah, I
They
Absolutely.
like
could also try making it 90 minutes. That might help too.
that.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, that leaves us just Division 4 for this podcast. We'll start with Region 14, the northwest corner of the state, 25 teams. Once again, 5 to 6 wins seems to be the magic number for making the playoffs. That seems to be a trend here. There are 7 teams we follow in this region, and interestingly enough, I have all of them projected to win between 3 and 6 games, so they should all be fairly close to each other this year. We'll start with the possible playoff teams. I have Napoleon at 6-4, number 9. I have Lima Bath 12th, Van Wert 13th, and Elida 14th, all with 5-5 records. So once again, a pile up of WBL teams. Then I have Ottawa Glandorf 17th with a 4-6 record. We have 2 teams that fall into the unlikely playoff teams category. That would be Ben Logan 21st and Kenton 22nd, each of which I have projected at 3-7. So really, 1 or 2 upsets. They're right in the thick of it all. So as we said, 5 to 6 teams, 5 to 6 wins projected to make the postseason here. Sandusky Perkins, the big fan favorite here, followed by one of our favorite teams, the Shelby Whippets.
Heck yeah. We love a whippet here. The dog.
The dog,
Yeah.
yes.
The dog, not the
Nothing else.
dark side. Correct.
Not the Devo video. Yeah.
No, not that one.
Not the Devo video either.
Although I do like that one too.
The song is good. The video,
Yeah, well, you have a point there.
Bruce, your Division 4, Region 14 projections are, as always, right on target. One of my favorite teams for the entire region is Napoleon. You have them coming there at 9th. I think Napoleon is going to be a lot better. They have been getting better and better. They won 2 playoff games last year. So I'm looking at Napoleon to go up. The other WBL team I'm circling, and please circle this, Rebekah, for next year as you rate my performance here on these podcasts to see if I'll return for a 4th year. You circle Bath and you underline Bath. Bath has been like Salina a little bit without the flash. They've been close. They're going to be a little bit better. I think Bath is going to be a little bit better than people think. And 2 Western Buckeye League teams that I think are going to be not making it, and you kind of have it that way, Elida and OG. I don't think those 2 teams have enough firepower to make the playoffs in this 12-team format. I'm with you there. I mean, I respect both those schools. I just don't think they can make it. And so I see your projections. I'm agreeing with them. You're right on target. The ones you have out, you have Kenton also out. Kenton will again score points. Kenton can get the ball up and down as they often do. They have skill, but they have tremendous problems stopping people. That's going to be their bug. Their kind of their problem right now is going to be their key for their season is can their defense play.
To piggyback on what you said about Kenton, I've been hearing very good things about their performance in the 7-on-7 type scrimmages this year. So yes, it looks like they have some skilled players, some speed, some passing ability. Question is, can they run the ball and can they stop anyone?
That's right.
And also, you mentioned Napoleon. Napoleon only went 5-5 last year in the regular season, but thanks to the 16 teams getting in the playoffs, they got in, won 2 playoff games, and then lost to the state runner-ups from Sandusky Perkins in the 3rd round. So they were really rolling there come postseason time. If they can keep that momentum going, I could see them really making some noise this year.
I agree with you. I think they could.
And also, I think we mentioned on a previous episode, Rebekah, note that 5 WBL teams there, all 10 WBL teams huddled together in just 2 regions. That has to be the first time that's happened since there were only about maybe 3 divisions or so.
Yeah, taking a quick peek ahead, I think it's going to be an interesting year for division and league match-offs.
Yeah, every one of those especially mid-level WBL games are going to be so very important for making the playoffs.
Conference is the word I was thinking of.
Conference,
that as well. The MAC's going to be spicy down there in Division 7.
Yes, it looks that way also, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to finish off this podcast, however, with the southwest corner of the state in Division 4, Region 16. We only follow 2 teams. There are 26 teams total here. It looks like it'll take about 6 wins to make the playoffs. We have Urbana projected at 10th with exactly 6 wins. We also have Tip City Bethel projected at number 23 with 3 wins. We know Bethel's a growing school district. Unfortunately, their success on the football team has not also been growing as of yet. We'll see if that starts to turn around this year. Fan favorites in this region from the south, Cincinnati Taft, Cincinnati Wyoming, and Clinton Massey. And Cincinnati Wyoming, as we well know, as occasional contributor Alexandra Trumbull is from there, tends to go 9-1 or 10-0 every year in the regular season. Whether they win a playoff game or 2 is another matter, but they tend to always make the playoffs. Watch for them to finish near the top.
Cincinnati Taft, Bruce, has at least 4 Division I players on the team. At least 4.
Yep,
they are talented, and they are going to have one of their better teams they've ever had in school history. Among our teams that we follow, you and I love the Hill Climbers. I mean, we're Urbana Hill Climbers fans. We boost them at every point we can. They don't like they like to run the football. I'm a Urbana fan. Bethel, as you just pointed out, the school is constantly building. They're adding students like there's no tomorrow, yet somehow they just can't get things going in football. I just don't. I hope it turns around for them. It's a growing school, beautiful place, but they just haven't got it going for football.
As you mentioned, with Bethel 3-7 last year, they're probably going to need to double that number of wins to make the playoffs this year, and that's always a big jump to make in 1 year.
Too big.
So I think, Rebekah, we shall halt here for the moment. Resume with Divisions 5 and 6 in our second preseason episode. How would you like to give the first outthrow of the year, Rebekah?
Oh, I would love to. So for those of you who have tagged in for the first time, or if you're a longtime listener, thank you. If you just found the episode, you're welcome to subscribe by finding us at the Apple iTunes Store, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music, or Spotify. We are there now.
Yes, we are.
And I think we got the links to all of the other ones working.
I'm not sure about the iHeartRadio and the Amazon. I mean, one of them wasn't working right the other day. We'll have to get back on that here. But
we'll figure it out which one's not working, but it's definitely on Spotify and Apple iTunes.
Yes, it is.
You can, of course, reliably find us by watching the slideshow with audio on YouTube. You can subscribe there as well. You can just need to search for Bruce Monen's Computer Points with the same name across all platforms. And of course, if you have any comments or questions, those can be sent to bdmonen@nktelco.net or submitted on X at Bruce Monen or left in the YouTube's comments section. So that should be good.
And with the regular season start bearing down on us, look forward to our next preview episode in the next couple of days.
Absolutely. And then weekly during the football season, we'll have an update for you if you're, again, unfamiliar with the podcast.
Yes, we are shooting for every Wednesday. We will see what actually happens, but that is the goal. So with that, so long, everyone, and we'll be back in a couple of days.